The White House drops a bombshell, slamming a 120% tariff on Chinese imports, targeting fast fashion giants Shein and Temu. As costs soar, these low-price powerhouses face a moral and market reckoning. From sweatshop allegations to trade loopholes, can they survive the storm? Join us as we uncover the future of Chinese e-commerce in America. White House announces termination of de minimis tariff exemption, impacting Chinese fast fashion retailers like Shein and Temu, ending the tariff-free treatment for small packages imported from China and Hong Kong. A 120% tariff will be imposed, with the order taking effect on May 2nd. One of the industries most affected by this policy is China's fast fashion retail sector, particularly companies like Shein and Temu. Many young people browse Shein almost daily, unaware that it is a Chinese company. Concealing its Chinese identity is a deliberate strategy for Shein. From website design to logistics labels, Shein caters to Western aesthetics and avoids mentioning specific cities like Guangzhou or Hong Kong, instead using terms like source country and port of departure. Some have described Shein as the fastest of fast fashion. Its core competitiveness can be summed up in two keywords: low price and speed. Shein relies on a small batch, quick response model, producing small quantities of various styles for market testing, then rapidly reordering hit items based on real-time data feedback. This approach maximizes profits while minimizing inventory risks. Coupled with its highly competitive low-price advantage, Shein has emerged as a standout in the fast fashion market, becoming the fastest-growing unicorn in China's cross-border e-commerce sector. Founded in Nanjing, China in 2008, Shein is led by Chris Xu, born in 1984. Initially, the company focused on exporting teapots and mobile phones overseas before expanding into apparel. In its early days, Shein's model involved sourcing clothing images from wholesalers, listing them on its website, and procuring and shipping items only after receiving orders. Relying on a low-price strategy and a high-volume, low-margin approach, the company saw steady growth. During this period, Chris Xu identified wedding dresses as a highly profitable and fast turnover category, second only to electronics and cross-border e-commerce. In 2010, he acquired the domain Shineside.com, launched an independent website, and shifted focus to wedding dresses, marking a new chapter for the business. By 2012, Xu expanded into broader women's apparel, fully transitioning to the cross-border women's fashion market. By 2014, Shein's order volume approached 50 million, and the company relocated its headquarters from Nanjing to Guangzhou. Leveraging Guangzhou's mature garment manufacturing ecosystem, Shein successfully transformed into a fast fashion brand, with explosive performance growth. Shein's core fast fashion production cycle is now 5 to 7 days, from supplier order to product delivery. For restocking hit items, suppliers can deliver in as little as 3 to 5 days. In contrast, Zara, the fast fashion giant that pioneered the flexible supply chain, requires a 14-day production-to-delivery cycle for its OEM vendors in China, from order to store delivery. To orchestrate such a responsive network of small and medium-sized factories, a key prerequisite is a complete set of production resources. Centered in Panyu, Guangzhou, within a 1-hour drive, there are numerous garment workshops and factories, the largest textile and accessory market, Zhongda Textile Business District, Guangzhou's apparel wholesale street, Shisanhang, Foshan's warehousing bases, and Guangzhou Baiyun Airport. This ecosystem is the result of over 30 years of development as China's garment export hub. Panyu, Guangzhou stands out for its preservation of traditional small-scale garment production and rapid response manufacturing chains. The area boasts a comprehensive set of fast fashion production resources, with fabric suppliers, equipment, and washing facilities readily available in nearby urban villages. This is precisely what Shein capitalized on. Beyond its 300-400 core suppliers, Panyu is home to over 1,000 garment suppliers serving Shein. Relying on the mature apparel supply chain in the Pearl River Delta, centered in Guangzhou, Shein has surpassed Zara in speed to market. From design to listing, Zara takes 14 days, while Shein requires only 7 days. For order quantities, Zara's minimum order is 500 pieces, while Shein starts at 100 pieces, offering significantly greater flexibility. In daily new product launches, Shein averages 7,000 new styles daily, compared to Zara's 68 styles. Inventory turnover is also faster, with Shein achieving 4.6 turns per year compared to Zara's 4.2 turns and traditional apparel companies' 1.8 turns. From design to listing, Shein takes 14 days, Zara 21 days, and traditional apparel companies 6 to 9 months. Between 2020 and 2022, Shein leveraged social media marketing on platforms like TikTok and Instagram, coupled with its low-price strategy, $5 t-shirts, $10 dresses, to rapidly capture the U.S. market during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to market research estimates, in 2020, Shein's global revenue was approximately $10 billion, with the U.S. market accounting for 50%, 60%, driven by Gen Z female consumers, equating to $5 to $6 billion in U.S. revenue. In 2021, global revenue was estimated at $15.720 billion, Coresight Research, with the U.S. market still at 50%, 60%, or $7.812 billion in U.S. revenue. In 2022, global revenue reached $22.7 billion, with the U.S. market at 50% due to growth in Europe and Latin America, equating to $11.3 billion in U.S. revenue. In 2023, global revenue was $32.5 billion, with the U.S. market at 40%, 50% due to growth in the Middle East and Latin America, equating to $16.2 billion in U.S. revenue. In 2024, Shein's U.S. sales were approximately $14.1 billion. Although Shein has expanded warehousing in the U.S. and Brazil, roughly 70% of its revenue still comes from direct shipping from China. Shein, alongside Temu, which entered the U.S. market aggressively in 2022, accounts for about 30% of small package shipments to the U.S. Temu's parent company, PDD Holdings Inc. Stock code, PDD. Listed on NASDAQ in 2018 as China's second-largest U.S. IPO at the time. Despite relocating its registration from Shanghai to Dublin, Ireland in 2023 to address regulatory and internationalization needs, its core businesses, Pinduoduo and Temu, remain heavily reliant on Chinese supply chains, and its founder, Colin Huang, and other executives are Chinese citizens, making it a Chinese concept stock. Launched in the U.S. in September 2022, Temu is PDD Holdings' global e-commerce brand focusing on low-cost consumer goods. Since its debut, Temu has rapidly become a major player in the U.S., with orders surging to $412.3 million in 2023. In 2024, Temu's U.S. revenue far surpassed Shein's, reflecting its aggressive low-price strategy and gamified shopping experience. Temu's 2024 U.S. revenue is estimated at $28.3 to $35.4 billion, accounting for 28% to 36% of PDD Holdings' global revenue, $99.35 billion. Its growth has been fueled by low prices and heavy social media marketing, e.g. $2 billion in Meta ad spend in 2023. Although Temu only entered the U.S. in September 2022, it is Shein's most direct competitor. In its first month, Temu spent $1 billion on marketing, followed by Super Bowl ads. Within 2 months, it surpassed Shein to top North America's shopping app charts. Temu employees have revealed that the company targets Shein's products, prioritizing identical styles for listing. Temu's pricing is even more aggressive, often at 50% to 80% of Shein's prices. Temu's internal goal was to surpass Shein's GMV by September 2023, aiming to overtake Shein's decade-long dominance in just 1 year. This confidence stems from its network of over 10 million suppliers, many of whom are willing to sell at minimal or no profit. Increasingly, suppliers are shifting from Shein to Temu. However, last year, the U.S. House Select Committee on Strategic Competition released a report accusing Chinese cross-border e-commerce platforms like Temu and Shein of 1. Violating U.S. tariff regulations, and 2. Infringing on human rights. On tariffs, the U.S. alleges that Temu and Shein exploit trade loopholes to dump goods in the U.S. Section 321 of the 1930 U.S. Tariff Act exempts packages valued under $800 sent directly to individual buyers from tariffs. Currently, 30% of daily packages from China to the U.S. are handled by Temu and Shein, and when combined with other cross-border e-commerce, this likely exceeds half of all shipments. On human rights, accusations extend beyond the U.S., with the EU also raising concerns, as these issues reflect objective realities in China. In Panyu, Guangzhou, known as Shein Village, factories power the world's largest fast fashion retailer. Shein's success lies in its massive inventory, hundreds of thousands of online SKUs, and highly competitive discounts, dresses for $10, sweaters for $6, with average prices below $8. These low prices are driven by Shein Village, home to approximately 5,000 factories, most of which are Shein suppliers. Factory interiors are cleared to accommodate sewing machines, fabric rolls, and bags of fabric scraps. Basement doors remain open, facilitating a constant cycle of deliveries and fabric movement. During the day, factory shelves are stacked with transparent plastic bags labeled SHIEN, ready for warehouse transport. Young female worker Xiao Wei hems clothes, sewing edges according to patterns. For simple designs, she can produce over 1,000 pieces daily. For complex ones, 300-400 pieces. At her peak, she handled 8 styles in one day. Hua Jie, aged 50, sews buttons, attaches zippers, and checks for stray threads. She told Jimian Fashion that orders from Zhuodian Commerce, a Shein affiliate, are straightforward. With over a decade of experience, she can sew buttons on 300 pieces daily. Xiao Wei and Hua Jie's wages are piece rate based. They work 10-12 hours daily with 2 short breaks, often until 10:30 p.m., with only Sundays off. Such intense work conditions are common among Shein's core suppliers, consistent with a report by Swiss advocacy group Public Eye. The report notes that without overtime, the base wage is 2,400 RMB month, 327, below the 6,012 RMB deemed necessary for a basic living by the Asia Floor Wage Alliance. Yet, for these hardworking Chinese female workers, such conditions are seen as normal. The White House's termination of the de minimis tariff exemption significantly increases costs for Chinese cross-border e-commerce, potentially pushing U.S. consumers back to platforms like Amazon. On April 10th, PDD Holdings' stock price fell below $90, hitting a 2023 low. Shein-related supply chain companies also saw immediate declines, such as Guangzhou Jiacheng International Logistics Co., Liladi, 7.7%, and KG Intelligent Technology, 2.7%. Shein, which has been planning an overseas IPO, raised over $1 billion in its F round in April 2022, valuing it at $100 billion. However, its G+ round in May 2023 raised $2 billion but saw its valuation drop to $66 billion, a 34% decline. This may tie to its 2022 performance. Revenue of $22.7 billion, plus 52.8%, GMV of $30 billion, plus 50%, but net profit of only $700 million, 36%. Despite revenue and GMV growth, profitability weakened significantly, coupled with tightening financial regulations in the US and UK. Shein's IPO prospects may face delays. In Chinese business logic, the internet is about winner takes all. With enough capital to wage price wars, outlasting competitors, you can dominate. This burn money, low price, high subsidy model, used by Shein and Temu, is being replicated overseas, particularly in the US. The strategy is to capture users first, then raise prices or sell ads later. In less developed e-commerce markets like Southeast Asia, this approach may succeed. However, in the US, with its robust legal and trade environment, resistance will come through means beyond Chinese business logic. To prevent bad money from driving out good money, the only way is to block bad money from entering the market. The Trump administration's policy is a concrete example of such resistance. Beyond cleverness, morality carries greater and more enduring power. Last June, Marco Rubio, Donald Trump's pick for U.S. Secretary of State, expressed serious moral concerns about Shein's deep ties to communist China. He wrote, "Slave labor, sweatshops, and trade tricks are the dirty secrets behind Shein's success." What are your thoughts? Feel free to leave a comment and share your unique opinions and suggestions. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.